done out from that. Other than that, other 4 heroes, they don't rely on cooldowns. They're ready to go at any time.
Yeah, they just keep on spamming spells. That's down for that bottom rune. Boom, considering the move down there. And Saberlight and Fishman will get a couple of bounties. Tims will take 2 himself. Has the headdress, the tangos, and he's already bringing out some additional regen with Mango and a sentry. Something we see a lot of with these side lane supports that already offer sustain, just amping it up even further.
Tims this time around will not be playing anything that can move around the map, being active. Tims definitely shine on those heroes we've seen in game 1 when he played Rubik first 15 minutes of the game, pretty much flawless. Same goes for Tiny in the previous one.
That is Rubik, Tiny, Earth Spirit, these heroes that get on top of people. This time around, the heavy sustain from the IO does have the relocate, so does have a bit of maneuverability later on into the game, as we'll see things develop. Down at bottom, FBZ taking a bit of chip damage from Saberlight and Fishman.
A lot of minus armor. Right clicks from Enchantress, Blightstone, and also Gush. You gotta be careful. This lane is all about the sustain. Once they get to level 3, where Necrophos puts more points in Deadballs, lane's gonna be very, I'd say, easy on the bottom. Maybe we're gonna see Dazzle getting killed one time, but if they manage to play around the Saberlight, Fishman.
He's isn't he? They can catch up to him.
He does have a stick and also healing cell, but Enchantress 320 move speed will not change. This also means a little less pressure on Necrophos, some solo XP for him.
Yeah, did have that impetus level 1, able to chase. Scam's going to put it on the Saberlight instead, as Fishman has salved back up to full and returns the favor. Gives a couple of whacks in towards FBZ and Scam.
Entity doing a very good job on bottom lane, pushing out the wave, not allowing them to play aggressive, getting level 2 before them. They understand where their strength is coming from. Now the lane's naturally going to push back into their tower. It's all about sustain. They're doing a very good job, not just getting double denies, but also securing last hits for Saberlight.
Yeah, perfectly done. Great start for them down south. Tims having to deal with Katomi. Sven, this position for Sven. The shard on that Warcry going to give them a lot once we get out.
It's a lot of armor. Warcry, when it's maxed out, that's 20 armor, and then armor becomes undispellable, granting passive 7 bonus armor. So their 5-man lineup, this is all, like, because they can't really gank. Maybe if Visage decides to pick up Aghanim Scepter, which we've seen Storm Spirit doing against EG from mid-Visage.
That is the potential for them.
That's one way to gank. Other than that, they're going to be groping around and just being very annoying. Birds dealing damage, and also Venomancer wards.
Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit, the kind of return of the TI4 Deathball meta. It's not quite the same, but it's definitely got elements of these hardcore pushing, sustain, and grouping up drafts from a lot of these teams. That Warcry going to be great against the Quill Spray of the Bristleback, as we've already seen. Jackie, though, top of the CS, not doing too poorly. But against the Venomancer, you would love to kill Toby off a couple of times, right? Slow hero, easy to gank, but with the Bristle IO, you don't really have the opportunity to do it.
This time around, much better Venomancer game, because they can't really gank Venomancer that easily. He does have 18 wand charges, decided to go for Bracer, and also getting some solo XP, because Kataomi is staying away from the range. Yeah, Spirit Vessel Builder against IO Bristleback. Gotta be really good. Bristle, this time around, he's gonna be skipping Vanguard, going into Hood immediately.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense against all the magic damage coming out of the Necro, the Veno. There's still a bit of physical though, like you mentioned, the minus armor, potentially from the Visage, physical damage from Dazzle. Even the Sven can bring some. Fishman, always in these difficult battles as the position 5. Against an Enchantress, your lane is never easy. Because you're not in a 1v1 regen trade, you're in a 1v2 with the creeps she brings. Incredibly annoying. Oh, Kato
big
spends everything.
From Sven.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant, using that hammer, and then 18 seconds not doing anything.
Well, he had a full wand, so he's like, well, I'm going to
use the mana.
Gotta use the mana somewhere, somehow. Mana burn creep from Scam.
Irritage going for toss back on the mid lane.
Did you try it?
Not connecting.
And doing very well in that mid lane, right? 11 denies, 18 last hits. Stormstormer always surprises me how well he's able to do in these 1v1s.
He's a Visage master. You would expect Visage not to do as good in some of these matchups, but Stormstormer knows exactly what he's doing.
Like 10 denies before he's even level 6. You know, there's no birds to help you. Still managing to get a lot against this Tiny, who has got some tremendous base damage. FBZ going for wave dragging now. The lane has become too uncomfortable for him just to sit naturally in that 1v1 against Saberlight. Equally, the Necro pulls across into large camp.
Getting the most out of the lane. Wants to be able to get that level 6 rotation. Radiant using a scan. Stormstormer know he's very vulnerable. But they're going on Tims and Tateomi position for Sven getting the first blood. We'll have another stun.
He's got another one in 4 seconds.
That's another kill.
Dead. He's got no mana to hood up. Another kill for Sven.
Anything, they're onto something. The way they're drafting throughout this tournament, they know what's up. Toby, he's level 5.5. So once you have that point in Poison Nova, they're focusing heavily on the laning stage. 3 points in Poison Sting and another point in Venomous Scale. No points in Plague Wars, yeah.
None in Wars, wow. So yeah, definitely just looking for that trading, the harassment. And Stormstormer does have his familiars out now. 3 members of Boom coming in, looking to that 6-minute rune spawn, which is a haste down at bottom, guarded up.
Boom wanted to strike before Stormstormer hit level 6, and now it gets a bit more difficult. Successful scan from Stormstormer, understanding something fishy is going on the bottom lane. Opage, he wants Saberlight.
Trying to run down towards them.
Not successful.
Unable to connect even with the haste rune there for Tiny. Fishman, what's he up to? He's coming back to, it looks like to try and de-ward. He's trying to guess where it is. Very common place there is right on top of the staircase. A lot of these dire teams like to place that vision, but it is a little further across towards that tip.
Oh, big stun.
Well, Tateomi, he gets a stun on Tims. Jackie's the one Gale and Nova focusing the archer here as well. With the birds landing, they'll stun up the Bristle, and Stormstormer's rotating in. Tateomi's on a killing spree, kills the courier, takes down Jackie as well. 5-0 start for them, going for a little bit more. They've had a taste now, they want the full meal. Yopage, they can't kill a Tiny, surely not. He's too tanky.
I believe the tower might be a bit too difficult, but they did invade enemy triangle, and also this ward that's always put to protect your outpost and the stacks did get deboarded. So Tateomi all over the place, also having a very nice read in terms of warding what enemy is doing. Roaming around the mid lane. Here he comes one more time.
Yopage stunned up.
It's not about getting the kill necessarily. It's also about forcing the potential rotation from Boom and then allowing Entity to play a bit more aggressive on the sidelines.
You're forcing them to really make the most out of this, right? You're giving them options of what they can do.
Oh, look at Toby. He's going ham on Jackie.
Is he?
4 points in Poison Sting.
It's a lot of damage.
He does have a hood still, so he should be fine, but if Tateomi rotates on the top lane, they could potentially get another kill. And also efficiency. Tateomi stacking the big camp 3 times while also securing the runes. Potentially securing the runes because it spawned bottom again.
He had to pop his hood because of Poison Sting. He was nearly dead. What does Jackie do now? He's died a couple of times. He's not had a very nice laning stage against this Venomancer. Oh, hang on a second. Skem down in that bottom jungle. He's been found out. Familiars from Stormstormer there allow Fishman to pick up the kill. What's the plan for Jackie? Are there ancient stacks for him? Are they going to try and build up bank in the triangle?
There is 2 stacks in the triangle, which could potentially be taken. Toby's Venomancer, you know, they try to pick it for him, not to a very successful end, but this time around, he's being very annoying.
He's a nuisance. He's a pest. Need to kick him out of the lane somehow. I just don't know how you do it, though. Tiny has to be the one to make these moves. So much rests on the shoulders of Yopage in this game. That's why he's rushing that Blink Dagger. This tournament, we've seen a couple of players go for that Echo Saber first, but really, it's all about this Blink initiation because you are the catch and kill capability from your squad while in the mid lane. Jackie has the backup of Tims. Gets himself through the onslaught of damage.
They need to help out the Necrophos on bottom.
Dazzle can't get his grave off in time. Saberlight helped out by Stormstormer, but the Centaur stopped there. Skem holds him back.
Ravage is available.
He does have the Ravage. They think they've gotten enough damage. Yopa, there it running it back on low health. Sableye turned on by Scam and FBZ, but this Ravage has led to nothing. Entity will retreat.
Here comes Bristleback.
Maybe a kill off Kataomi. The courier over the high ground, safe and sound. While Sableye, he's gushed up, but he's got wave dodges. The potential here with the avalanche. Oh, the kill getting off. No grade from Fishman. Focus on Timms with the birds though, and Toby. He's got that poison over the urn charge. Clips it on to the Bristleback. That's the one.
Our enemies.
Focus on the Jackie Bristle. And Entity swipe down for another kill.
Did it have a fun? They do. If this man managed to get the grave off, this is a perfect fight for Entity. Sometimes it gets a bit more difficult because you get tossed in the air and you just lose the vision. You're not able to click on him. But yeah, beautiful stuff from Entity. First using this Ravage and not getting anything off of it because he did have a Ghost Shroud. The birds again on the mid lane. Tim's ready to bail him out.
Yeah, we'll tether across, relocate. It was a nifty attempt by Yopaj with the Tumbler's Toy on Tiny to get to that high ground, but just missed the step and wasn't able to catch the Sven. Well,
time to be alive. Venomancer on top of network.
He's gone aggressive with the Familiars. They'll land the stones on the Reaper's side. Goes through Tim's IO. Yopaj, look at that damage bursting through.
Look at that slow.
Slowing him down to a crawl. Oh, it's a double for Sableye.
They're really strong once they group around Dazzle. There's going to be so much healing because, like, imagine someone being shallow, like Necro being shallow grade, using Ghost Shroud to amplify healing even more, and then popping one dead pulse. He's almost back to full HP.
What do you do to stop this? It's like that scene through Austin Powers where you're just standing there with a steamroller coming towards you. You can't actually move and you can't really react to it. You just have to let it run you over for a little bit, getting space elsewhere on the map with a couple of other heroes.
They're trying to itemize. I see FBZ going for not just hood, but full pipe. So that's going to be one answer, but still, there's going to be a lot of issues because there will be Visage birds. Also, Stormstormer itemizing for early aggression, going for that drums.
So he is, yeah. Can go for the boots of bearing as well if he wants to. He went for the tranquil boots on this Visage. And the Sven. Such a good hero to also be able to block smokes, get vision, and just be a barrier in front. Like, Boom doesn't want to initiate on a Sven when he's full HP. And he's very difficult to kill. And there's the Spirit Vessel completed on Toby, while Jackie and Timms clear out a couple of ancient stacks, building this Bristle back up to 5,000 net worth. So he will get a little closer towards that Vanguard, going Hood and Vanguard.
He was thinking that he can skip Vanguard this time around, but those 3 deaths, he's 0, 3, and 0. A lot of stacks from Boom. We see 7 being made by Timms and 2 extra, so 9 in total compared to 3 or 4 on Entity's side. Also meaning that because you're not having that good of a time on Bristleback and you decided to go for both Hood and Vanguard, your Aghanim Scepter timing is going to be delayed.
Heavily delayed. And look at this. Boom, they didn't see it coming. Timms is the one that's going to be brought down first. The tether.
Oh, that's the creep.
Have a message.
Doesn't matter.
In mid-air, but the Reaper's side, it is there. Sableye will take down the IO. But Bristleback, he gets away unscathed for the most part. Toby and Kataomi not done though. They don't want to allow him to farm Ancients. Take them out. Get some ward coverage in the area.
It's also very important for Toby to keep those Spirit Vessel charges up because this is how you deal with tanky heroes. All 3 cores are strength, so that means it's going to be a lot of damage done on them and also reducing healing from both IO and Enchantress.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Yopaj 300 away from Blink. Feels like one of the slower ones from a mid-tiny this tournament. Did go for the treads and the bottle. A few little items here and there. But he needs it desperately. Again, he is their primary form of initiation.
Kataomi getting closer to his shard. Position for Sven, so not dispellable, and also extra 7 armor on Warcry passively. So that's 27 armor in huge AoE.
Yeah, we saw Tidy with the double damage runes of Stormstorm in the previous game, right? With a Sven able to counteract that, might be the answer to these mid lane scaling Tinies. But there is the Blink, finally arriving. Needs to go back to Fountain to regen up, but he'll be ready to group with his team, smoke and play aggressively, as it looks like they are signaling they want to move into bottom jungle.
Bottom tower gonna drop. 66 HP only. Seems like Entity will not try to defend it.
Yeah, just a quick clip there. Well, mid lane, Stormstormer showing. Sableye comes bottom with Fishman, but there's the catch from Visage. Straight onto the Visage, he's got a DD running, Familiar's landing, TP out, and no stunts coming. Stormstormer is away!
A TP out, nicely done. Scam did use Enchant to get rid of that extra armor from Warcry, which is, dispellable at the moment, but will not be dispellable in a couple of minutes when Kataomi finishes off that shard.
And that was the debut, that was the reveal of the Blink Dagger. You need this investment in aggression to pay off for you. Tiny needs to get kill after kill now. 5,000 net worth, he's dropping lower and lower. Like, top 4 are all Radiant heroes. Bristleback, the only one to really break into that pack. And a hero that I feel like we've touched on a little bit. We've seen some Reaper sides out of this boy, but 8,000 net worth on Necro. He's got Kaya Sanch completely, doesn't he? But he's also being run at by FBZ and Skem. Just a very difficult kill to kill.
Almost gets away.
He really gets out of the range of the tentacles, but Visage, he is there. Finally, claiming a kill on the Tiny. And bringing down Sableye's Necro, that top net worth hero. Huge for Boom.
That was nicely executed. Ravage catches him on the end into relocate play, and Tiny unleashes full combo on him.
Stormstormer, Agham's next. You talked about that, right? The ganking capabilities of that Silent as the Grave. Queued up after he's got a shard done. Sven shard is coming. It's in his stash. Now we see Skem with a Glimmer Cape. So lots of little items here and there that are going to help each team's causes in these upcoming team fights. Lots of defensive capabilities. Already with their natural sustain from Dazzle, Necro, IO, Ench. Just adding even more to it.
Roshan's going to be on the menu for Entity in the next couple of minutes.
Even just 17 minutes in, you've got plenty to go into the pick. Stormstormer's alone top. Visage showed he did have an Invis Rune bottle, but didn't want to use it just yet. Oh, Scam, Glimmer Caping out of range of Toby. Doesn't get tagged by the Venomous Gale, so he's fine. A bit of calm here. And Boom getting a lot of farm under their belt. It's allowed Bristleback now to move up towards second place. What, halfway towards Aghanim's now. Have Entity taken their foot off the gas just a little bit too much?
I think they need to use this, something that I just mentioned, Roshan, because they see Bristleback only having one component now for this Aghanim Scepter, and they will use it. There's more than enough sustain. And Saberlight playing the bottom lane, pretending nothing's happening. Tyre using the scan, so they know something is up. He can easily reconnect with the team with Boots Travel. Also taking Roshan from Bristleback lineup is a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, Bristol really wants that. Go and claim all the towers. Play tanky, have 2 lives. Not having that means he has to rely so heavily on this IO heal and the Ravage to be able to control team fights. Saberlight spent all his money again.
Bought the shard. Double damage. Bottled by Visage.
Death Seeker. Necro shard. Incredibly tanky on Saberlight as well. 1800 HP, Kaya Sanch, Bracer, Wand, and lots of heals. So he's not completely reliant on that Ghost Shroud anymore, which you said can be kind of counteracted by the Dispel from Enchant. He is tanky enough to wait things out. As Jackie gets a bit of a push on bottom lane. Stormstormer's Familiars looking to scout out Skem, but once again, Glimmer Cape TP.
Jack needs 800 gold. It's time for Entity to push the lanes. That's why Boots of Travel are a very valuable item on Necro, to be able to push one wave, and the rest of the team will need to be grouping around and moving together, because they're really not good at gank. Maybe when Visage picks up Aghanim Scepter, but until that makes the game very difficult. One of the reasons why we haven't seen many kills in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, just calm things down, get your items going, hit those peaks. Oh, Essence Ring for Bristleback. Hand that over. Toby still with that Fairy's Trinket. Trying to play forward into Dire Triangle. Scouting out his opponents, and a long line drawn there. Stormstormer says hold the river. Tier 1 top and mid. Still up and running for Entity. These are objectives that Boom need to claim, while a smoke from Stormstormer, Kataomi, Fishman. Who are they going to connect with? Scam is going very deep on a warding mission. It looks like, no, he's not actually got any wards, never mind. He's just wandering around, Bambiing in the forest, sproinking away.
Buying time, potentially getting ganked. Venomancer on a mid lane. Boom thinking about jumping him, but then seeing Dazzle and saying, no, not really.
That's what, 4 staff, full wand, Dazzle behind. You're not killing that Veno anytime soon. And Entity opting to go for the push. Tier 2 tower, glyphed up for now.
I don't think you defend this tower. Try to get something done out of the map. Aghanim Scepter getting delivered to Jackie as we speak. Maybe if they can force someone to TP out, show on a minimap, and then try to strike, because it gets very difficult. This is Visage with Aegis, and also we still haven't seen like Graves being used because they were not many fights, but you'll see the full potential of Entity's lineup pretty soon. As soon as Boom decides to take a fight, Grave, Ghost Shroud, Dead Seeker saves, there's going to be way too many things on the ground, and it's just going to be very chaotic. Also, Sven, after finishing that shard, going for Vlad's next. Like usually you see that from Visage, but he knows that Kataomi will eventually farm it, so he doesn't need to go for it, opting for a higher tier item.
Yeah, so Stormstormer can go for more of the like assassin build, hunting people down, looking for the IO in particular, maybe the Tidehunter, who are heroes that like to play from fog and have that element of surprise. Jackie trying to use this Aghanim Scepter, yeah, gets a little push on the bottom lane. Tim's there with a ward down as well. But it was Saberlight, the one that isolated himself on the map that you were mentioning. They were waiting for someone to come down there. The Necro, not a hero they can kill. And the cut across the map. Entity sweep into the triangle. FBZ
just run away. They can't really stop them. The only way to initiate is when Visage picks up Aghanim Scepter or Sven finding an angle and using the Stormhammer.
Pretty cool. We've not seen this in a long time because pipe hasn't really been an item, but the disassembled pipe here, so you get both barriers. FBZ will be able to use the hood, reassemble, use the pipe, get both buffs, and he's now also got that blink dagger to be able to jump in and start the team fights.
Good old Dota trick.
Kataomi, they want to show mid, tracking wave into the tree line. No points in Greater Cleave. Full support mode for him. FBZ doing a similar thing with the help of a tiny illusion. But it still feels like Entity the ones with a firm grasp on this game. And they can push bot tier 2, they can move around and look for kills, maybe defend that top tower. Every option open to them, while Boom, they're looking for a big team fight, aren't they? They want a 5v5 clash.
They definitely want to, but once that Aegis is down, and it's going to be gone in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, reclaimed.
Instant smoke from Boom.
Yeah, you're right. Straight out across the map. Stormstormer does have that Aghanim Scepter, but look at Toby. He is out here, all alone in the wide open forest. 4 staff's not going to save you. As Boom bring in the heroes, Scam's the one to get the final touch.
Toby was thinking about popping that poison. No, checked where everyone is so far away from him. He was caught in the jungle alone. Boom is itemizing for that magical damage coming out. They know that most of the damage is magical, besides some right clicks from Stormstormer. And he's trying to assassinate with this freshly bought Aghanim Scepter.
There he is. All hidden away, silent as the grave. Trying to act like a little ninja.
Yeah, the good old Envisage, as we like to call it.
Envisage. Saberlight, this has been his job so far, just to sit down in that bottom lane. They can't really come and kill a tier 2 because he's just pushing that wave out consistently.
And also the deep ward, it's kind of Saberlight on the bottom lane is something that could potentially give them more kills, because if they see him deeping bottom, that means the rest of the team is definitely not with him. Entity's not going to play the bottom because he wants to use this Boots of Travel. And look at Yopaj.
What's he doing? He's cutting waves?
Cutting waves. It's all about cutting those waves that they do not want to give Entity any momentum.
Maybe now Saberlight in trouble though. A step too far forward, a toss back to reposition him, and a relocate in. Boom. They brought everyone down here, but Saberlight incredibly tanky, still going to fall as Entity unable to snap into action fast enough.
Boom having a really good read what needs to be done in this game. Just trying to go for this Necro. They understand that the Entity can't really gank. So try to dodge, cut the waves as much as you can, place these observer wards that gives you all the intel, and then try to go for plays like this.
And there's that BKB on your opponent, rebuilding back into the Echo Saber. BKB bristleback, so another big timing here for Boom to continue looking for these team fights if Entity ever entertained them. Assault Cuirass next for Stormstormer, so stacking even more armor and auras up. Like you said, they'll have the Vlad on this Sven, already had the Shard a long while.
Entity needs to find an opening. They need to find a way to start a fight. One way is going to be go for the second Roshan.
Wrong, go on Katomi here. Stormstormer is going to angle towards Tim's though. The Io a little bit out of position, caught up the Shard of the Dazzle, hexed up with the toss back, finding Stormstormer. The Visage, he's got the back of the Sven for the BKB. They need the Grave. Stormstormer, he's in stone form, but no Ravage is there. FBZ kills on Fishman. Stormstormer surrounded. Another toss back from Yopan. On some of the break though, Invision away. Toby with the big boy. He's got a BKB up. Shiny golden bristle back. Whacking into Toby. They can't finish anyone off though. The sustain is too quick. Finally, a kill for Jack as Tim's Toby FBZ. But Saberlight's arrived. Their Necrophage. He wants this bristle back real bad. No Reaper side that Skem wants to save it. The buyback from Io and Yopan. Another toss back.
They want to save him in 9 seconds. Not going to be enough. Running away.
The buyback from Tim's Io. Catome and Saberlight, what can they do now? They're running low on mana. Yopan's incredibly close to it.
Showed up.
Another toss back. And Fishman arriving again. They've got Death Seeker. Deathbolt in and Saberlight. He's going to take
another one to replenish his mana. He's going to go back to full mana. We're sitting at the 100. So buybacks from Boom, not enough to keep this fight alive. And while this is happening, Roshan did respawn.
Look at that.
These are the types that the Entity wants. They want prolonged team fights. They want Bristleback to have his BKB on cooldown and also not play around Ravage.
So what was that? A buyback from Io. 3 heroes dead on Entity. 4 dead on the side of Boom. Saberlight comes out the big winner though. 10,000 damage. Gets a ton of XP and gold.
Shiva's Guard doing a lot of work in those fights, slowing people down and also reducing healing from Io, from Bristleback. Percentage-based damage that they have from Venomancer, from Spirit Vessel, always going to be really deadly for these 3 strength cores.
Oh man, there's this shard from Stormstormer as well. He's back to basically full health. They need multiple avalanche toss combos to kill him off, and then he's able to get to the tree line. Jackie, with that BKB up, able to do some serious damage, but back to live as Roshan. He has respawned. In comes Saberlight though, they're on the overhead. That's a dieback from Tim's now, gone for 70 seconds.
Man, I've seen throughout this tournament, Dazzle's carrying the game pretty hard with this shard and landing in multiple main hexes, and now inside of it they go. Boom will not try to fight this.
That's what, a 2-second hex, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 seconds to extend these team fights, get your heels off. And second,
there's only one hero that does not have shard on Entity, and that's Venomancer.
What is it?
So we'll get one for free. Travel range and spawn some Plague Wards.
On the Venomous Gale, yeah. They'll get it now. So even more Plague Wards, that might just help out their push as they start considering high ground. 30 minutes in. Do you still reckon Entity are on that kind of timer? Boom, the ones that want this game to
not
40,
necessarily,
50 minutes?
because this is Bristleback lineup, a lineup that relies on taking Roshan and then putting the pressure on the enemies while Bristleback is holding Aegis. Like Tiny scales well. Aghanim Scepter, nowhere near close to be finished on Tidehunter, so that's also a big one. Once they get that AoE slowed, that's going to be pretty big combined with Viscous Goo.
But yeah, there gets a Necro as well, right? The ability just to slice them in half.
Necro also got that very good level 20 talent, Heartstopper region reduction, so even less region coming out from IO.
That's massive. And one of the closest we've seen all mid lane. What's this? Catch on Scam. Next to 10, lose a ton of heal. Stormhammer's there and Saberlight. The massive damage.
Saberlight was thinking about it for a second. Trying to force a Ravage. Let's see how it goes.
They want the Tidehunter. He might be forced to use it. He's standing his ground and fighting in, but the Reaper's side will be looking at. Oh, he saved him.
Using that mech.
And Yopaj
coming in clutch. Yopaj, BKB running.
BKB up and focusing Toby, but so challenging to fight into this. Sustain and Deathball still going high ground.
They also picked up Gem on Visage, so we'll see any kind of wards. They're trying to get rid of Vision. The Stormstormer, he feels slightly vulnerable, so initiating from this Aghanim Scepter. Jackie, they just scouted him out, I believe.
I think they know where he is. You've got a pretty good idea. But the tempo which Entity are playing now, as soon as that fight was over, Saberlight TP's bot shoves the wave, the rest of them gathering up in this dire triangle, ready to go for round 2. They do still have the Ravage on Boom, but FBZ doesn't want to use it here. Pops his pipe, turns the fight, gushes off Saberlight, but FBZ, he's dead.
Way too much damage. Great initiation from Saberlight using Shiva's Guard, then blinking in, clipping Tidehunter, so he's not able to blink out.
Yeah, great shout.
And full rate pack on Sven, reducing damage and giving those birds extra. Like Visage right now, when it comes down to tower damage, these numbers are going to be nuts.
They're going for it. Tier 3 tower opened up. They're unlocking this base. Look at this damage from the familiars out of Stormstormer.
Also full Aghanim Scepter done on Toby's Venomancer.
I mean, they've got armor corruption on the familiars. That AC done as well, no? Not quite, getting closer to it. But a bit of focus there onto Jackie. Needs the IO to keep him healed up. That Barrack's falling though, and nothing to stop Entity at this point. The Gale catching Yopaj, spawning a couple of those wards. And range barracks will be a full set for Entity. Back it up.
Taking barracks without even taking a fight. And Boots of Travel one more time on Saberlight. 21,000 net worth on this Necro.
He just finished Ags and he's already got another 2k saved up. AC very close for the Visage as well. And we are yet to see FBZ in the past 10 minutes have one of these big ravages which Boom desires so greatly. And look at that Necro, 710 GPM. Right up at the top. We've not seen him play many carry heroes. He's played Alk once or twice.
He did play one game of Faceless Void, mostly, like even a couple of games he played offlane Enigma, offlane Beastmaster, while Toby playing some kind of a carry like a Razor, and Scam will be found. They do have Gem.
Gem for Scam?
On Storm Spirit, but never mind. He's not there, but there is dust available already on Kataomi.
It's a slow, arduous kill. The Hex there from the Poison Touch to cancel the TP just in time from Fishman. And Saberlight continues to streak.
Oh, you see Invis
onto the Familiars. There's low of the eye on the side. Not sure that was required, but Saberlight made damn sure that Tim's is dead.
Just in case, Saberlight styling on them right now, keeping on Invis Visage Birds. That's how they initiate. And almost a full overwhelming blink. This is just getting real rough. He's also getting closer to level 25 Necro in the 33-minute game.
He's a monster. He's knocking on the door of Boom, looking to knock them out of the tournament. The Grim Reaper himself. Saberlight here in game 3. They do get Toby, the Venomancer. He got FBZ on the run behind his tier 4 towers. Jackie Boy and Yopaj unable to do anything though. These strength heroes against this Venomancer. Poison Nova with the Aghanim Scepter is huge. 4.5% max HP is down.
Yeah, look at them chilling in Fountain, trying to regen up. It's going to take some time. Yopaj is still sitting at the 30% HP. Could get the Reaper sighted potentially, but it's not available for another 60. So gotta be very careful. It's one of those where you like toss in Tidehunter, you try to lock him down, and then he gets the 5-man Ravage. Same thing happened, but the good force out from Toby, allowing him to get closer, close the gap, and clutch in Brave coming up from Fishman.
Oh no, panic from Fishman. He was right on the money this time with the Grave. And now
yeah,
Lotus
panic, calm again.
Calm. Just chill. Entity, that's what they're doing. Just come back. hold their side of the map. Another one of these situations where you know your opponents are desperate. They're itching for a team fight. So you don't want to give it to them on their terms. You'd rather fall back defensively, smoke to then regain some traction on the map. Mid lane's pushing, top lane's pushing. They're in a great spot here to play into dire triangle. Catch and kill is the name of the game for Entity now. Buyback status-wise, super important for Boom at this point. It's all going to come down to these long, drawn-out fights, and nobody has any. 80 gold away for the IO. Dazzle, the single hero with buyback on the map. So the jump, super important. Sableye spotted mid, but in the triangle, they're going back in. The FBZ, 3-4-man race. It's a great connection, but Toby healed up, and the poison over there. Gets the rain back down, and Stormstormer with Sableye. They're back in towards them. Fishman loses his career, but that's meaningless in this. While the Reaper's sight is there at FBZ. Down goes the Tide. Jackie Boy and Tim's still trying to fight, but they can't out-sustain Entity.
Sableye just doing way too many things in this fight. They try to focus the others, but they don't have enough damage. They cannot deal with this Necrophos. Fight starts, they pop the bongo boots, Warcry on Sven. They're pretty speedy. They cannot be slowed for a short period of time, and now it's time to go in and potentially end the game. They know that there's no Ravage. They're going to go for tier 4 towers.
Well, why not? Just go for it. IO did get the money to buy back now, so it's going to be a 3 versus 5. But this is Entity locking up game number 3. No way out of this one. That's the miracle happens. Joe Park to the top, back to the grave. On the Toby saves him up in the IO. He's about to die again. Oh, it's back behind his throne. Safe for now, be a tier 4. Not having the same luxury. No safety for your buildings. Catapults have arrived.
They need some kind of a toss back into Fountain play, but seems like Entity will not allow it, keeping the distance.
Kill the buildings. Rain Pack can't even be focused down. Jackie trying to stack up Nasal Goo. Boom, they're alive, but they're thrown even with it. Sustaining there. Jackie Boy sent across in towards the Sven. The building. Can they focus it down? A Stormstormer. Let's pick off Tim. Yoba's dead. No buyback on Boom. FBZ's gone. And GG.
What a performance from Entity in game 3. They just needed to go for this like one push